Okay, what about now? Is it better? Perfect. Okay, we made it. Okay, sorry for these little things, like we just need to set up everything. So welcome to all of you. I am Nicole Carvelli, the Edugo.AI BD manager, and I'm very happy to be here today for this second webinar of the year. Together with me, we have Kate Boger and Giuseppe Tomasello, and I will ask our speakers to give a brief introduction of themselves in a while. Just before to start, I would like to guys ask you, where are you guys following us from? Because currently I'm in Italy, I'm in Sicily. It's very sunny weather here. And so we would like to know, how international are we today? So just leave a message in the chat box that will always stay open during the full length of the webinar. And so let's see, I already have some reply. Oh, people from Spain, Romania, Germany, France. Okay, ciao from the ones from Italy. Okay, also people from Brazil. Okay, good. We're all international here then. Fantastic. So while you keep like asking us, telling us where are you guys from, I say that we can start with the first introduction. So Kate, please, would you like to give a brief introduction of yourself?
Sure. Hello. Hi guys, I am a Canadian teacher. I'm originally from Canada, but I live in Germany. Primarily, I'm a business English teacher, and in the last 2 years, I've also started teacher training for how to use Instagram, how to create an online business for yourself.
Great. So now, Giuseppe, would you like to tell us?
Okay, great. Sorry about these microphone issues. Actually, this is the first time that me and Nicole, we are next to each other. Usually we are very far away because I'm living in China and now I'm in Italy. So I came here and we're working in the same office right now. So it's the first time we're running a webinar in the same physical space. So that's, sorry about this double device and echo problem. So I'm Giuseppe Tomasello. I'm from Italy, but I've been living in China for more than 7 years. And I'm the founder of Edugo.AI. So the reason why I started Edugo.AI at the real beginning was because I had the selfish need of learning Chinese. I always been a passionate language learner. But when I started learning Chinese, I had a lot of problems because the language is very difficult. So I built a tool that allowed me to learn better Chinese. And then the tools start to evolve and we start to, of course, having more users. And now we are serving language institutions around the world and also like private language teachers to transition from offline to online. What is the special thing about Edugo.AI is that we use artificial intelligence to personalize the content for students. And that way, actually, we're achieving higher retention and our satisfaction for the students. Of course, I don't want to go too much deep at this stage. So because we are going to have Kate that's going to introduce to us about Instagram for language teachers. But at the end, after Kate's presentation, we're going to demo to you shortly how Edugo.AI platform works and how it can actually be used in order to acquire students coming from Instagram. Because we build a funnel that connects the social media to the platform. And the reason why I want to always tell the story about the origin of Edugo, because I believe that being customer-centric, in this case, student-centric, is always the best strategy in order to being able to grow your business. And Edugo, for us, has always been at the core of what we do. So we always put the students at the center. And I believe that's always the best marketing strategy. I can see Kate agrees with me. So like I cannot wait to listen to Kate's tips. And then we go in the demo. And then at the end, we have the Q&A.
Exactly. So many thanks to both of you for this brief introduction. So today, let's try to see why the reason we are here. So can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So today we are going to see how to use Instagram to grow your online language business. Particularly, Katie is going to walk us through social media as a tool for your business. She's going to tell us how Instagram can and should be used to bring clients. We're also going to talk about how to create a social media strategy and what not to post. And actually, I'm very interested about this part. And then at the end, as Giuseppe anticipated, we are going to see the case studies by going from awareness to revenue, thanks to Edugo.AI platform. So without further ado, please, Kate, if you'd like to share your screen and keep going with your presentation, the floor is yours.
Absolutely, wonderful, thank you. Okay, can everyone see my screen here? I'm going to try and share. This normally doesn't work. I don't think you can see this. We'll try one more time and then it does work. I don't know why that happens. There we go. Oops. Perfect. Okay. Hello and nice to see everyone here today. From what I understand, a lot of the Edugo community is both teachers who are looking to find more clients online, and then also business and actual like schools who are looking to expand into the online space. Hopefully this presentation will help both of you. I will get into myself as well in a very little bit, but first off, if there's any questions, please write them in the chat box and I promise to get to them when we're finished. Awesome, okay. So, 7 seconds. Did you know that it actually takes 7 seconds for people to decide whether or not they want to follow you online or not? Statistically, you've got 7 seconds to wow somebody before they leave. So before we get into getting people to follow you and getting people to buy from you, let's first go into why it is so important to actually use Instagram in the first place, either as a teacher or as an online school or a actual location where people can come in and be taught. So first of all, Instagram is the 7th most visited app in the world. So out of every single multi-million app out there, Instagram is number 7. Instagram currently has over 1 billion active users. That's 1/8 of this world. And over 500 million users are active on the app daily. Instagram saw 17% growth in users in Europe in the year 2020. And 59% of American adults use Instagram daily. So again, we're talking Europe, we're talking North America, we're talking worldwide really, where it's only growing, it is not getting smaller or maintaining. And then 90% of users follow at least one business on Instagram. Now, the last but not least, people look to Instagram to legitimize your business. If they can find your business there, they are more likely to take you seriously. I don't know how many people in this room or how many people in this community are using Instagram as a place that they go to find other companies, to look for other brands. But more often than not, once you're on Instagram and using it, that seems to be the place where you look to legitimize people. So if I'm looking into, like Giuseppe said, I'm looking into learning Chinese and I hear about some company or some teacher, I'll try and find them on Instagram before I'll even try and Google them, statistically speaking. Now, all of these statistics came from business.com or the Business News Daily, and they're things that I'm hearing always over and over again about Instagram specifically, which is why I chose for myself to go onto Instagram and not necessarily onto other social media platforms. So my story and what I'm telling you today is not coming from me as I'm all over social media. I chose Instagram for a very specific reason because I truly believe this is where your business should be. Okay, so who am I to talk? Now I want to give you a quick introduction to myself so that you know who you're listening to. So I started teaching English as a second language in Korea in 2008. I taught at elementary schools, primarily in institutions in actual physical buildings, until 2012 when I moved to Germany. And then I started specifically teaching in business English settings. So I was going to companies and I teach in their conference rooms. And I noticed, so like I live in one specific town. I noticed for myself, I'm working for a fashion company, a medical company. I work for tools that are as big as houses, and I work for companies that have handheld tools made out of diamonds. I've worked for 2 professional sports stars and a photographer, and I can tell you, I get the same questions over and over. You might think the same thing for yourself. I always get the same questions. So at one point, when I had my second child, I realized very quickly that if I want to work, everyone in my family needs to be healthy. Nobody can be growing teeth. Nobody can be previously vaccinated. Everything has to line up for me to teach appropriately, right? In order for me to teach at all, to show up at my job. So I reached out to one of my very best friends, who I also met in Korea, who was also an English teacher. And I said that I wanted to start an online school. And I wanted to help as many people as I could with courses so that when I don't show up, I can still help people. I can still make money. And that was the idea at the very beginning. I was not looking to fill up my schedule, which I know a lot of teachers are. They're simply looking to fill up their schedules, and that's fine. I'm going to show you my techniques on that too. I wasn't looking to fill up my schedule. I was looking to sell courses, help people on a bigger scale, and not necessarily add to my 1 hour for 1 hour schedule. Now I'll tell you, we made our first course all about basics of grammar. It was one of those things that every time I go into a company, this is something that people love to hear from me. I figured I had a great concept with the courses, and we opened our online school and sold our very, very first course. And I can tell you right now, that launch, well, I'll ask you in the comments. So write in the comments how many courses you think I sold in that very first launch on this fantastic grammar course that helped a lot of people. What do you think? How many courses did I sell? Let's see. I can't see the chat box. Nicole, what are you seeing here? Are you seeing any guesses?
I see that some people say 0, other 5, other between 5, 10, Marine 15, then Raquel 0, Chiara 3, more or less. Okay.
Wonderful. Okay, thank you. Good guesses, all legitimate guesses. Those who guessed 0, you are correct. I sold 0 courses on that very first launch. And that is probably because I was using Instagram the wrong way, which we'll get to later when I talk to you about what not to post. Once I started researching and figuring, okay, looking into copy and looking into how to write a website and what should be on my bio and all the information that kind of needs to start coming together, then I started selling courses. And while it wasn't consistent, it was helping people. I was selling a course that I wasn't necessarily working on anymore. So for all intents and purposes, I was living the dream that I had started out wanting. Then 2020 hit. And as all teachers know, any institution just shut down. People were fired from one day to the next. Everything felt scary and it felt scarce. Like, I don't know where my next paycheck will come from. I don't know if I'll still have my job in 1 month. It was a very, very overwhelming feeling. And I did lose a lot of my in-person jobs. However, the online school just shot right up. Now, at this point, we had an academy. We're starting to bring on more teachers, and I'm now using my posts and using my social media, not to fill up my own schedule for one-on-ones, but actually to fill up for 8 people. And this is when things really got intense and amazing. In October 2022, we were still in the middle of lockdown here in Germany, because that almost lasted the entire year. And we we were contacted by a Fortune 500 company in India to create a course for them based on very specific needs, but again, very specific needs to a lot of people. So we created that, and then we created a 5-month program that people could then join up with, and it really solidified our online offer. And then we opened a program to help other teachers do basically the same thing. Now on my page, so I have 2 Instagram pages now on englishanywhere.de_Kate. I've got more than 40,000 followers. But more important than that, I'm making sales, and we've got a program that's truly helping people, while myself and my business partner are not necessarily booking up and completing and filling up or overfilling our schedules. I've also got another page on balancing_teachers, and that one is specifically for teachers. So if you're interested in either one of those pages, go ahead and join me later, and you'll see what it is that I'm talking about. We've got courses, we've got programs, we've got a mastermind for teachers, and we've got a team of 8 people all over the world who are just doing amazing things in the ESL industry. So that's me, and a little bit of the history with Instagram as to hopefully what we can also show you so that you can do the same thing. Now, what do I need when it comes to Instagram? This is the biggest question I hear from online teachers who are starting out. Let's just pretend everyone here is on the same page. We're just all starting out. You need a professional and easy to approach looking page. And I say easy to approach because as the student, you know, Giuseppe was talking earlier about the student. As a student, when they come onto a page, they need to really be clear as to what it is that they're going to find here, or they'll leave, you know. We need to remind our current followers of your offer. So you have to have ideally one clear offer. And I am going to get more specific into this as well. So the point is, newcomers can figure out very, very quickly what it is that you offer before they can decide if they want to stay. Now there's 3 actionable and totally easy steps that you can do to create that. And I'm going to go over those today. So first of all, have you ever gone onto an Instagram page, looked at it and thought to yourself, what is this page all about? I have no idea. I'm going to follow it anyways. No, probably not. You go to pages, you see who's there. You want to see the same page kind of consistently. And then at some point, you kind of figure it out, and that's when you decide whether or not you want to stay. So your messaging needs to be incredibly clear in order to pull in the right person. Now remember, you've got 7 seconds for that clarity. So what do you think people can see, or what do you think people see and look at on your page in less than 7 seconds? Now, I'm not going to make you guess, don't worry, but I'll tell you now. More often than not, they are glancing, just a cursory glance at 3 different locations. They're looking at your profile picture. They're looking at the first line in your bio. And what I call the top 12, which is like, I don't know, there should be an asterisk there, and I'll explain that too. So those are the 3 things: your profile picture, first line in your bio, and your top 12. Alrighty, so first, profile picture. Is your profile picture, if you're already on Instagram, I'm assuming, if you're already on Instagram, is your profile picture a logo? I know that a lot of us start out, you know, we think, okay, I have to start my own business. I need a website. I need a logo. And then you create this beautiful logo, and it can take you weeks. It can take you weeks. I don't know about you, but between my business partner and I, we went back and forth for weeks about what would be better and what colors and what size, and should it be a perfect circle, or should it be something, or should it be a triangle, or should it be this? And really, you want your logo to be the first thing people see. But I think that you want that because you don't want to be the first thing people see. Teachers are, generally speaking, pretty humble people. That being said, when someone comes to your page, they want to see a face. So it is actually incredibly powerful to have your face there and have your logo in other parts of your content, but not necessarily the first thing people see. For someone to pay you their money online, they need to know what you look like. So I can't tell you how often I go to other pages, I see a logo up here, I see a whole bunch of beautiful content with all sorts of, stylized colors, and it's at some point it matches. But if someone comes to your page and they don't immediately see your face, they will not trust you with their money. More importantly, their credit card information, right? They're not going to send you their money. So I would highly recommend putting your face into your profile picture. Another thing I would just take a quick look at, is your face too small, or are you kind of closer up and super friendly? People want to see a friendly face. They don't want you looking very serious. They don't want it to be too artistic. And then statistically speaking, you need to be looking right at the camera and not necessarily looking away, which creates distrust. Or even have sunglasses on. That's like next level stuff. But sunglasses can also create this feeling of like, I am somehow disconnected from you, right? So looking at these two profiles here, obviously English Institute, this is great, it's clear. But when someone comes to this page, who do you think they're gonna trust more? Are they gonna trust the logo page or the one with my big smiley face? Probably the big smiley face, okay? Good. Okay, next. The first line in your bio. I have seen so many different options, and not all of them are bad. I'm not going to say that every single thing that's not on my formula is bad, but I will give you a formula that is successful. Often I see people trying to be funny or cute or using emojis or hashtags. And then quite often I also see like, hi, I'm Kate, which can be a waste of only one very small sentence where people are looking, right? As I said earlier, they look at the profile picture, they look at that first sentence in your bio. So we don't want funny or cute or emojis. We need one thing here. We need to be clear. So, hi, I'm Kate. I want to help you learn English. While it is clear I'm an English teacher, well, actually, I don't even know if this is clear that I'm an English teacher. That's the thing, right? If somebody comes in, I want to help you learn English. Okay, what does that mean? A little bit better is I help beginner English learners become more confident in English. It's good. I know for myself, if I'm the person coming in, if I'm an advanced English learner, that I know that this page is not for me. If I'm a beginner learner and I'm pretty unconfident, yeah, okay, maybe this is the page I want to follow. Although I do see a lot of confident in bios. I see a lot of people say I help people become more confident in English. So it's kind of standard. Let's go one more. I help busy professionals fit English into their day with video lessons you can watch on your lunch break. That is incredibly clear. When I wrote this sentence, I actually copied and pasted it into my bio. It is now the line in my bio on the English Anywhere page because that's exactly what I do. I help busy professionals fit English into their day with video lessons, so not one-on-ones, that you can watch on your lunch break. That is a benefit to them, that they don't have to wait for me. They don't, they can do it on their schedule. Another great one, I help IELTS learners crush the band 7 on their first try. Join our group classes here. And then you put in a link to your page, your group, your website, right? So I help, and then who do you help? How? And then a call to action like join our group classes here. How's it going? Am I going quickly? Are we going okay? Any questions I should answer before I continue? Please let me know. And let's see. Let's go into the, oh, I can't see the chat. Excellent. Let's see here. I like this, but I see in LinkedIn, IGs are flooded with I help X doing Y doing Z formula and is not as unique anymore. Understood about that. However, and I mean, if you want to do something totally unique, I get it. The only problem is if you're too unique for a non-English speaking person that you're trying to help, you might be missing them. So while I understand that the I help X do Y doing Z or with Z is standard, it's also important. This is your one spot to be clear. So think about it. Obviously, I won't tell anybody what they have to do, but it is important to be incredibly clear, and this is your spot. Sarah Verda says about the profile pictures, is it also true for business and not independent online teachers? Great question. I would say still yes. Absolutely. If you you're the person who owns the business, you can absolutely put your profile picture there, or you can get a group picture and then make it clear in that first bio that you are a team of people or that you have an institution people can join. And then in your page, you should highlight your teachers, and there should be some way that you can show people that this is something that they can experience themselves. So in that way, it can be a little bit different, but even myself as the face of an online school where I'm not looking to fill up my schedule, but we've got team members who are, I'm still the face. People come to me, they say, Kate, I'd love English classes with you. And I say, I'm sorry, I'm not getting any new students at the moment, but I have a wonderful team of people who are ready and willing to serve. And I've never had anyone say, no, I only want you. Never mind, then goodbye. People still stick around. Okay, awesome. I'm not going to go through the whole chat, but as long as everything's under control here, then I'll continue on and we'll come back for questions later. A powerful bio can make or break that first 7 seconds. So don't be afraid to get specific. If you are bored with the idea of I help X do Y with Z, figure out maybe I help X do Z with Y. Like, you can still kind of change it around a little bit. But I think in this moment, it's still so much more powerful to be clear than to be unique. All righty. Finally, your top 12. Any guesses what I mean here by the top 12? What can I possibly mean by your top 12? Oops, I'll tell you. The top 12 is the 12 most recent pictures or posts in your feed. So I don't know about you guys, but for me, for example, if I'm looking, let's give this an example that we can actually get like clear on. Let's say that I make it my goal to eat less meat. I want to eat more vegetarian meals. So I put vegetarian into the search bar on Instagram and find 4 or 5 different people to follow for vegetarian recipes. Now, let's say that one page has like their profile picture is a logo. It's like vegetarian plus, or vegetarians are us. And then it's, the second line is I help people turn vegetarian or turn vegetarian 90% of the week. I'm like, oh, perfect. That's me. I don't want to go completely vegetarian, but 90% of the week sounds fine. And then I go through those top 12 posts. And in that moment, I'm deciding if this is someone I want to follow. Now, of course, if there's some meat in there, or if there's some gluten-free or lactose-free or carb, keto, something or other, and I think that's not for me, I won't go any further and I'll look for someone else. If I decide that what I'm seeing here is exactly right up my alley of what I wanted, and I decide to follow this person. Statistically speaking, I'm not going to scroll all the way down to the bottom of their page in order to see their introduction post where they say, hi, I'm Sarah, and I'm a recent vegetarian, and I'm here to help as many people become vegetarian. Check out my cookbook for vegetarian recipes. If every single post there now is simply a vegetarian recipe, I'm much less likely to be connected to this person whose face isn't anywhere on the page. I don't know why they're doing this. I don't know what their story is. And I can't pick their face out of a lineup of 12 other blonde vegetarians on Instagram. I'm not going to send them my money. So this is when your top 12, and I say that because people won't scroll for long. So you want the top, if you go onto Instagram, you'll see the top 4 lines. That's your top 12 posts. You want that to be as clear as possible for anyone who's new coming in. So does that mean that you should introduce yourself every 12 posts? No. I don't think that you need to introduce yourself every 12 posts just to make sure that everyone always understands exactly who you are. However, if I'm going to go absolute bare minimum, your face needs to be in the profile picture, and then your face needs to be at least one time in that top 12. Okay, at least one time. I've been on the English Anywhere page for about 3 years now. And that profile picture was always my face. And I usually had my face 3 or 4 times amongst other things. I could do graphics, I could do videos, I could do pictures of something else. But when you come onto my page, you know very quickly who's running that page and what my message is to anyone who's coming in. This gets us to Nicole's favorite part of the session right now. She wants to know what not to post. I'm going to tell you right now, word of the day posts are absolute sale killers. And I will say this for a few reasons. So first of all, in that top 12, you want people to know who you are, and word of the day posts don't help people know who you are at all. We need, and this is something you've probably heard before as well when it comes to selling on the internet, there's 3 things absolutely crucial to being understood and making a sale. They need to know you, they need to like you, and they need to trust that when they give you their credit card information, when they book a session with you, that you will be the one showing up. Word of the day posts only do one of those 3 things. They help people trust that you're a good teacher, or that they hear your accent, they hear you speaking, but there's other ways to do that too. Now, I actually do have a free masterclass linked on my Balancing Teachers page. So if you want to get really specific into that, please feel free, go ahead and take it. It's a 1-hour training. But I can tell you now, for know, like, and trust, the most important thing you can do is try and connect with your possible followers, the people who are checking out your page. At one point, I put an ask me anything into my stories. I did that quite often when I was posting more often on that page. And somebody asked me a question. I thought it was funny. Are Canadians really obsessed with maple syrup? This is not a word of the day style post, but I ended up making like a 3 or 4 minute video where I was telling a story about maple syrup. And that might sound ridiculous, but it actually, the day that I posted that, I had a handful of new people come over and ask if I could be their teacher. And it also brought to me one of the highest members of our online team. She now works for us and she runs the business English side of English Anywhere. She came to me based on that post and repeatedly tells me that that was the reason she wanted to work with me, was that one silly post from like 3.5 years ago. I think when we're creating content as teachers, we think to ourselves, how do I educate? How do I give people information? Well, I know things, so I'll give you an expression, I'll give you a phrasal verb, get up, go over, get in, and then bucketing rain, or raining cats and dogs. So there's so many teachers out there just creating posts and content with expressions of the day, word of the day, phrasal verb of the day, that when you start creating like that, you just end up in a sea of people who are creating this word style stuff, and it doesn't create know, like, and trust the way that we think it will. One other thing I'll say is that when it comes to word of the day style posts, which I see often from teachers, this can actually give a reverse effect. I know, I mean, I started out at the same time as people who now have 120,000 followers, 500,000 followers. I am very good friends with somebody who's just gotten over 1 million followers on Instagram. And I can tell you, there are people who follow me and him and her and them and these people, and they truly believe that if they just follow more English teachers, they'll eventually one day become fluent. As teachers, you probably just thought to yourself, well, obviously that's not going to work. But there are people who truly believe that all I need to do is follow about 20 teachers and I will become fluent. So creating more of these word of the day style posts can actually lead to the false belief that your followers don't need you. And that will not lead to buyers. Okay, so twofold there, you're creating the wrong feeling in your follower and you're not creating know, like, and trust from your follower. Let's stop here again because this is a big discussion. Oops. Any questions here about word of the day style posts? I can't access the thing anymore. Any questions here about word of the day? Looks pretty good. Okay, thank you, Nicole. Okay, so with these three things, know, like, and trust, I have sold courses, challenges, I've sold programs to followers, I've brought in a team of 8 different teachers into our online school, we've sold courses to international companies, and so much more. Fun fact, I've also actually been paid to create content for educational games, international programs, and also the Biden administration twice. And I truly believe that this is the kind of thing that brought me here today to be speaking in front of you guys, is the kind of things that I'm posting instead. And I think when you see Instagram as a way to talk to people more so than simply word of the day style posts, you can make big waves in the industry. You can create posts, create courses and sell and help a lot more people. It's so much bigger than simply create one post every day and then eventually you'll be done. Like, there are real things that you can do with your online platform, for lack of a better word. Okay. So to recap, if you want to take a screenshot, this is probably the place to do it. Step 1, get a profile picture that will appeal to your client. A face, nice and close, smiley and friendly. Step 2, we want to attack that first line in your bio. So don't make it funny or cute or who you are here for. Oh, sorry, you want to talk about who you're here for and how you can help them. Be clear and call to one kind of person. And then step 3, you want to keep a constant eye on that top 12 posts on your page and make sure that they represent you, that your face is there, and that you've got know, like, and trust elements throughout. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to stop sharing now and see your lovely faces. Hello. Any questions? Okay. I see here about the profile pictures. Is it also true for business and not? Okay, we've done that one. In the highlights, I see. What do you mean by the highlights, my friend?
I mean that when you want to tell people who you are again and again.
Yes, excellent. I have an introduce myself highlight on my Balancing Teachers page, and then I don't feel the need to do that as often with teachers. However, I would say it's also just a great opportunity to make it as a post, to talk to people in a different way, tell stories about yourself, and then say, I am an English teacher and I have 3 spots available on my schedule. Message me if you want lessons. So I actually don't do it on the English Anywhere side, because I truly enjoy that part. I've done like 2 truths and a lie, you know, things that we've done. We're teachers, right? We play games with these people, enjoy creating your content, tell a story about yourself, tell a lie about yourself, and then ask people to figure out what the lie is. This is all valuable content that's not word of the day style posts. So I don't have it in my highlights there, but that's just my choice. Rita says, how do you decide on pricing? Excellent. What are the criteria? With a global audience, the ability to pay varies according to the economy of the country. Do you establish set prices or do you vary according to who you're working with? Rita, great question. Okay, so first of all, and I assume here at any point that we'll all be answering questions. So if there's Giuseppe and Nicole, if you guys want to jump in here too, that's totally fine. I would say for myself, my 1 hour pricing is set to European standards of what I normally get for 1 hour here in business English. So here in Germany, 1 hour of my time costs this much. This is what I expect. But you're totally right. There's a lot of people out there that will not be able to afford that. And this is actually one of the biggest benefits of creating passive income. Now, I mean, if you guys want to invite me back, I will happily talk to you about passive income. That has been one of the best ways that I have allowed myself more time with my family while also helping people. You know, we're teachers. I love teaching. I love the connection that I have with students while we're talking to each other in a situation like this. Sorry, that got very loud. But if you are looking to help people that might not be able to help and pay your rates, passive income would be a great way to do that. Okay, awesome. I actually went live recently on the Balancing Teachers page. It's called the 3 Rules of Creating Passive Income. You should see it in my top 12. And I give 3 fantastic rules on how you can start there. Awesome, Rita. Okay.
Great, Kate. I think actually like we can go in the second part of the webinar quickly. Absolutely. And then we can go back to other Q&A at the end of the session. So if people still have some questions, then we can keep for the end, and maybe also like after our quick presentation, maybe we stimulate also some other kind of questions that are more related also in the connection between like the awareness stage that happens on Instagram and then the conversion actually to how do you practically convert those customers or those students into paying customers. So I will go ahead and share my screen. And so I can actually introduce to you a really simple concept, which is actually like the concept of a marketing funnel, because I think it will connect to what Kate has been discussing today, which I find very, very interesting. And by the way, I love the fact that you focus on people. And I believe that, you know, approach on social media should be about people first. And I think also that, you know, since also schools are moving to the online environment, they should kind of shift their attention from like the brand of the school to the personal brand of the individual teachers or the founder of the school. And so I completely agree on that. And that's a really, really well stated on your side. And I believe that I learned a lot actually from that presentation. So the concept that I would like to introduce to you today is the concept of a marketing funnel. So basically, Instagram, it is, you can see Instagram as a part of your marketing funnel, and usually Instagram sits on the top of your funnel, which is actually on the awareness stage. Awareness, because actually it's the way that the new students will discover your school or discover your profile and your offering. But also Instagram is important to consider as a part of a process, part of a user journey that will bring this student from discovering about what you offer to actually acquire the contact of the students, which actually is the acquisition stage, then activate the student, which is actually the moment that the student is actually getting value from your offer. Of course, bringing the student to revenue, monetize that lead, and then retain the student. So you want actually to keep the students for a really long time till, of course, achieve his language proficiency objectives. So we prepared this little video. Usually, actually, we have a PowerPoint, but since we're talking about like Instagram and we cannot do like a demo on the computer, so we created a demo and a video demo that is coming from the mobile phone. So actually you can see what is the experience coming from Instagram. This profile we're looking right now is from Melissa, which is an Italian teacher that is actually using Edugo platform. And I believe she's also in the call right now. So thank you, Melissa, for allowing us to use your example as a use case. And so basically, Melissa, of course, created her profile in the platform, and then link use the link section to link to the platform from Instagram. And so basically, the student can then click on the link directly from Instagram, or this time is coming from my Instagram story, and jumping a landing page of a course. So this one will be like A1, like a basic Italian course. And here, when the student actually is clicking on the lesson, is signing up. So in this stage of signing up, actually, we are acquiring the contact of the student. So now this student is actually in the platform of Melissa. Melissa has the contact information, has the email, and has a way to connect with the student directly inside the platform. So now the student is actually practicing some exercises. So this part is the asynchronous part that our platform offers. So Melissa can create activities that can be many different activities, actually can be created also with the use of artificial intelligence. And now the student is interacting with the content. So, those activities can be gamified and can be make the student actually getting some value. And that's actually the activation stage. Activation is actually when the student is getting the value that is coming. The reason why it's coming to your platform that is actually to learn Italian in this case. So in this way, actually really quickly can go and learn something. And this is called also the time to value. And this is really important. So when a student is coming from Instagram, you want to bring to this kind of haha moment or magic moment as soon as possible. And the magic moment for a language student is actually having fun, and he's actually interacting with the content, and he's learning something new. And then, of course, once the student is activated, we want to bring to the revenue stage. So now we want to sell the course to the student, of course. And so this can happen easily inside the same platform, where actually the student can simply, using the buy button, and can actually process the payment with PayPal or credit card inside the same platform. Well, okay, so we achieve our goal to enroll the student inside the platform, but now we want to actually continue the value delivery to the student, and this can happen also inside the same platform, which is at the retention stage. So once the student is actually becoming your customer, if you actually offer a really good value proposition, it will be a customer for life. So now you can start also upselling other kind of solution. For example, the platform will allow you to have a profile of the student, and you can offer to the student to have synchronous training also in the same platform. For example, here, Melissa will be able to create a profile also for and upload a scheduling system, and the student will be able also to book a schedule, to book a class inside the platform, and then process, do the video call inside the same platform. And all the user experience is very integrated with all the different parts, synchronous and asynchronous. So that's a little bit of one way, of course, that you can bring students from Instagram and monetize them and retain them. And Edugo.AI is actually now working with language teachers that are, we call it Instagram influencers that have already a following base, but also with teachers that are starting out and helping them to actually monetize their audience. Because of course it's important to build up your audience, but then it's even more important to, once you have this audience, to find a way to monetize and deliver value to your customers, which is the reason why they are enrolling in your class. And the way that, let's say, our special sauce, the way we are doing it that is also different from other platforms, is the fact that we merge the synchronous and asynchronous teaching modality. In this way, teachers can actually decide to have different prices. So I know before there was a question about prices. I think the pricing actually strategy, we advise to test it out. Of course, you need to understand what is your target market, understand what is the purchase power of this market. But then you can also like do different tests. And then the way, for example, we suggest to do is to understand what is the right balance between synchronous and asynchronous. So of course, for students that will they don't have a big purchase power, you can have a more asynchronous component, and then maybe include one lesson per week of asynchronous classrooms. Or of course, for students who want more personalized approach, you can use more synchronous. And so it's about finding the right balance. That's the way we see it at Edugo. So once you move online, of course, you need to use those two modalities and combine them accordingly to your target market. Okay, so I'm done for my presentation. And of course, if you want to, get in touch with us, or you want to rewatch this webinar, we're going to publish in our YouTube channel. We're going to share the link on the chat. And now we can open up again in the Q&A. And so we can have a little more interaction also with Kate. And so if you have any other question for me or Kate, please feel free to ask. Thank you.
Exactly. So many thanks to our speakers for for sharing your knowledge with us. So I would like to start with some of the questions that have already been made through the chat, and then please, for anyone else who would like to ask anything else, just drop the message in the chat box. So I'm gonna go up. Okay, and there is one question from Marine who is asking, how many posts would you recommend per week? This is for you, Kate, I guess.
Great question. I almost forgot my mic was off there. It's a rookie mistake. Yeah, good question. I think when it comes to posting, the standard rule is once per day would be the best. If I'm honest though, now that I'm a little bit more established, I'm not posting as often on the English page anymore, but I'm still getting business. I'm still getting deals, we're still getting students from people. So I think once you're a little bit more established, you can kind of release that drive, that need to post every day. But I think, again, more often than not, I mean, if you're a teacher and you're fully booked and you can't really find a place to be adding more on your to-do list, then that's a really great place to be starting from. Right? So if you're just looking to add a little bit more of your social media so that at some point you might get a client, then you don't need to post every day. But I would say when you do post, get really specific into the kind of person you want to talk to. Because at some point next week, somebody might tag in, for me, it's business English. Somebody puts in business English and my page comes up because that's something I've talked about so often. So I think it's not really about, and I know this is not the answer and maybe it's fluff, but it's not about how much you post, it's about the quality of what you post. Yeah, that's what I would say there. And if I can also, I can give you a list of 3 great things you can make into your next 3 posts. If that's what you want, I'll give you examples. That's no problem with me too. Okay.
Great. Okay, and what about instead the live on Instagram? Because also David is asking, how often will you go live on Instagram?
So I started the English Anywhere page when my son was a couple of months old. And at the time I was only making lesson posts, and I was doing all the wrong things, the word of the day style stuff that, as we know, did not help me make any sales. And I went live all the time with, I would say, like once a week on average. I mean, I wasn't like about it, but once a week on average with other people and putting myself in front of their people and putting, like going out and just trying to gather as many people as possible. So I did that quite often. And now I go live. I still go live on the Balancing Teachers page probably as often, but usually with a bit of a different purpose. When I go live on that page, I'm trying to give some sort of value instead of just trying to grab followers as often as I can. Yeah, going live, no matter where you are in your business right now, I would say go live and get used to it so that when you're at a place where you need more students or you're looking to start selling courses, or you sign up for Edugo and you've got something you want to pull people over, then you'll be more comfortable doing that, because selling is awkward enough, let alone doing it live. So get used to the live part and then just be awkward at the selling.
Okay, that's nice. Okay, also other people are laughing here. So there is another interesting question also for you, Kate, that is, let's say I teach multiple languages. Should I create an Instagram account for each language or advertise about them all on one account?
Amazing. Okay. So I actually have one of my clients right now has that as well. She's Ukrainian, but she teaches Italian, Russian, and English. Nope. Yeah. Italian. And she, so she's doing a couple different things. And I think this is the important question here. So one of her products, she wants to create a Telegram group for language learners. So it's not specific to English or Russian or Italian, but it's where to find the resources to do certain things, the how to get around those moments of lack of motivation. So it's really language unspecific. And if that's the case, your page does not need to be English teaching specific. And then you don't need English and Italian and Russian, because I can tell you, as someone who has 2 pages, it is a little exhausting. I didn't expect to almost give up on this page that I've, spent 4 years trying to build. But as soon as I started talking to teachers, it was like, I can't be in both places. So think of your offer. If your offer is specific to one language and you want to have one-on-ones in Italian and one-on-ones in Russian and one-on-ones in this, then have 3 separate pages. And then I would say to limit your own work, create posts in one and then translate that same post into the other and the same post into the other, so that you're not feeling like you have to create 3 different things for all 3 pages. And then the other side is, if it's not language specific, keep it not language specific and create an offer that is not language specific. Hopefully that's helpful.
Perfect. Thank you, Kate. Actually, I am going ahead with the other question that we got in the chat. And okay, Juan, I can reply to you about that, because yes, you can get the recording of this webinar session, and also you can also follow us on YouTube. And if you activate the notification there, you will be immediately notified when the recording will be available. Then next question from Sandrine, that is for Giuseppe. So about the right balance between synchronous and asynchronous. Is it essentially a matter of economic offer, or is it also a matter of optimizing the balance between the 2 modalities to facilitate learning?
I love this question. Actually, it's very, very interesting. It's an amazing question. Okay, so I will say, actually, depending on what is your objective, whenever you try to sell a language course, I think there are 2 main approaches. One is actually to kind of understanding what is the market demand and try to create a product that can sell. So the kind of metric you try to maximize is actually the amount of sales. So anything about any kind of business, because this will be a business, is about having a key metric that you would like to optimize. So I believe that there are going to be some teachers that are doing that to increase their revenues. And so I will say, in that case, optimize for that metric. So do experiments and try to find what is the right balance to achieve higher revenues. On the other hand, I believe also there are many teachers that are doing that in order to optimize the learning outcome of students. In that case, I will suggest, if you don't care so much about revenues, you care and you're completely focused on optimizing the learning outcome, then find that kind of balance. So I don't think there is a really the right answer. There is always what is your objective, and then what kind of iterations you can do in order to maximize, to increase that specific metric. But of course, at the end of the day, I think the combination of synchronous and asynchronous will be tailored for different kind of use cases. If a person wants to have a very specific learning objective in the language, I remember when I was learning Chinese, I want to learn how to pitch Chinese to foreign, to Chinese investors, right? I had a very specific learning objective. And of course, there is not any asynchronous course that can fit the kind of objective. So my teacher completely created in Edugo the pitch I want to do in Chinese, and then go really deep in this kind of knowledge, which Edugo allows you because it's hyper personalized. In that case, of course, you want to have more synchronous training. Now, on the other hand, if you're lower level, of course, already pre-made curriculum, maybe there are specific also for industries that can be already be more than enough for a student. So the asynchronous part can be enough.
Can I add
yes.
one thing in there? I love what you've said there. I also think, you know, there's one question that's come up from Sandrine that says, are the two objectives totally incompatible? And I would say absolutely not. So at the very beginning, we were looking for something more passive when we first started, both on the business side and on, no, not on the teacher side. That was actually fully live. So we had two very different business models from the two very different niches. Now, then we started live training with teachers, and we had in our first group, we did like a program about selling on Instagram, and we had about 30 teachers in there. The second group we started had about 40, and the third group we started had 47 teachers in there. And now we've taken those trainings, the ones that were the most helpful for people, and we've put those into trainings that people can watch in their own time. And we've added a live element so that people can come and ask us questions. So in that way, it's both passive and unpassive. And then we took that same business model and we applied it to the business English side, where then they also have access to those trainings and then live lessons with us so they could practice speaking English. So really, you know, I think one thing that both Giuseppe and I have said over the last hour or so is that this is up to what you want. I think if you're at a place where you're like, I want to talk to my students, but I also don't want to say the same lesson over and over again. You record that lesson, you put it into the app, and then you make a live group class. And that's the best of both worlds.
Love it. Completely agree, Kate. Okay.
Great. So I think that, okay, now it's time to wrap up a little bit and close, since it has been already 1 hour that we are live. So many thanks to all of you for staying with us so far. Thank you also for the interesting question that you asked. Many thanks, of course, to both Kate and Giuseppe for sharing their knowledge. And I would like to remind you that if you'd like to follow up for any other question or any other ideas that you have, we are available. You can visit our website, and I'm gonna share it with you in the chat box. And there you can just leave your email, both if you are a language school or a teacher, a freelance teacher who would like to scale up your business. You can also be in touch with us, and let's see what we can do to help you out. So many thanks to all of you, and yeah, have a nice day.
Thank you so much, Kate. Let's do it again. I love this session, actually. You're invited whenever you want to join us again. Thank you.
Thanks, Nicole. Bye-bye.
Thank you all. Bye-bye.